Hello, world. Ladies, gentlemen, boys, girls, everything in between the she's, the he's, the they's, the thems, the z's, the zas, the zoos. It's your girl, the queen, reporting live from here, there, everywhere. Welcome to the latest installment of Tavia's Tea Time, where we go there. Sometimes we don't know how we get there, but when you know it's me and Matt, my fellow crash out kid, uh, we tend to always take it there. So
It's up.
on
It's
this
up.
live installment, I don't think we've had a live installment of Tavia's Tea Time in a
We did.
very
Oh
long.
yeah.
I think the first one or two were live. I look like a
Uh,
Rastafarian today for some
I was
reason.
crying on the second one, right? I teared up a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah, you cry. It's all good. Men could cry. I like a man with a little emotional side. Until I call him a bitch ass motherfucker. No, I'm just joking.
You gotta relax.
No,
You gotta
for real.
relax.
I like when someone could be emotionally vulnerable with me. That doesn't mean
Those,
I'll reciprocate, but
that's wild.
exactly.
I think I
So
was going
welcome,
through a
my
lot around that time. I was going through a lot
yeah,
around that time.
yeah. You were, but it's okay. It's okay. We here. We up, and it's stuck. So tonight, on this very special episode of Tavia's Tea Time, we're going to talk about stepdaddies and step parents and all the little dynamics between complicated family situations. So, Matt, I want to start off by asking firstly, how was your week?
My week has been hectic. I've been working like crazy. Like slavery never ended. Juneteenth does not exist. That's how I've been feeling
Are
in
you
this
getting
week.
compensated?
Always. Nothing else.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's not slavery. Like,
No, it's slavery. It's slavery when you see the taxes. You see the taxes? Yeah, it's
no, at
slavery.
least you're getting paid. Slaves didn't get paid. Slaves got whooped and raped and pillaged.
Hey, what does pillage mean again?
Google.
I got you. Wait a minute.
When they will go into towns and pillage all the goods and go into people's houses and stuff like that. No. Indentured servants got paid.
Rob a place using violence, especially in wartime. Yeah, that sounds like the everyday life in Crown Heights.
Crown Heights
Yeah.
is like whatever.
Well, East New York. If that makes
No,
sense.
not even Camden, New Jersey.
What? What? Can Maya get out? So you had to interrupt the show to tell me to tell your sister to get out. That's what we're doing. That's what's good in the hood right now. You that ass. Okay. Okay. You can tell her yourself. You the older sister. Figure it out. No, don't use violence. Violence is not always the answer. You didn't get that from me. You're messing
That's
up
what she
your
said.
yeah,
Violence is the answer.
yeah, she's wild. I don't know where she get that. She didn't get that. Folks, she didn't get that from me.
Mad,
She didn't get that from me.
mad. That is horrible.
Tamia, go hang out with your sister. Go later.
And y'all
I'm
be
recording. I gotta
and
go.
y'all be
Bye.
saying
Peace easy.
y'all be saying that I'm crazy. Like what?
I don't know where she got that from. She didn't get that from
Got
me.
that from you,
She
motherfucker. Who else?
didn't get that from me.
She got that from you.
She did not get that from me.
Yes,
I do
she
not.
did.
I do not choose violence at all.
Oh, boy, bye. We finna go into this whole situation. So, Matt, tell the queen what's going on.
No, I just want to know. So all right, everybody knows divorce. She was tripping, left the nigga for a Spanish nigga for the Bronx. We know that. We know the story. Everybody knows the story, right? So boom. In my story, she brought boy around my kid literally like a month afterwards. A
Okay.
month after the separation, right? A month after separation, my kids met him. I
Okay.
felt like it was too soon. That was my only problem. Now, the debate goes, right? How soon can the spouse meet the
Spouse
kids?
is a heavy word.
Well, we're gonna use the word spouse because I can't say the other nigga because we got to be political correct.
No, you say no. your ex's new partner. I think personally, there's no real time frame. Me personally, because not all relationships have benchmarks. You
That's
get.
a fact.
I believe that it's normally easier to introduce your children to your partner with children if you both have children. And I believe that there's a certain comfort level depending on how quick you've built. And when we talk about having your kids around someone, if this person is if you plan for this person to be in your life,
What's up, Quest?
as we already know, relationships go up and down, on and off, left and right, right?
Mm-hmm.
So who's to say that at 6 months is an appropriate time and we break up in the seventh month?
You're right.
You get what I'm saying? So for me, I mean, I had been in a situation where my ex and I had moved really quickly. Like, my as you know, I was engaged from 2017 to 2020. I was in a relationship altogether from 2015 to, we officially with our separate ways in 2021. So, mind you, I'm not going to hold you. We met in September. We got really close.
Mm-hmm.
We dated. We went on our first, we talked for 2 months. Our first date was in November. We had 2 dates and then we moved in together.
Wait, I'm sorry. Okay. How
How we ended up moving together was
how far in between was the two things?
a week,
No.
3 weeks.
Oh my!
I'm gonna tell you
How
what
old
happened.
were you? How old were you when this happened?
I was 31. I'm gonna tell you what happened. It
Mm,
was a chain of events.
mm-hmm.
My
I'm
niece
listening.
I'm gonna be real. My niece had passed away
Mm-hmm.
the day after Thanksgiving, and that was at our
Okay.
third, right? So he had
Mm-hmm.
come over to kind of like comfort me, and he did. He brought me. We were close at that point. You get what I'm saying? We had already been talking for 3 months. We
Mm-hmm.
had 2 dates. The third date was at my house where we were gonna
Okay.
eat Thanksgiving leftovers. My niece died right the day before Thanksgiving, and
Okay.
it was a tragic. Like she died. Like she had an asthma attack and passed away. Right. So I was distraught, and he came over, and then 2 days later, his apartment caught fire. His apartment caught fire. Legit.
Was he was he cooking eggs or something like?
No, he wasn't home when it happened.
Hmm.
He wasn't home when it happened. His
I'm
landlord had called. His landlord had called and was like, "Look," and the fire made the news and everything. The whole building burned down.
hmm.
What do you mean? Yeah,
I'm
legit.
trying. I'm trying.
You
So
trying to what?
I'm because I
Trying to
know
what?
you. I know you well enough to not trust nobody that quick.
Right, but mind you,
Like,
he was staying. But let me be real with you. We weren't sharing the bed.
okay.
He was sleeping on the couch. The first 2 months of him staying with me, and
So
my
you
daughter
ain't.
didn't really see him.
So you wasn't sneaking on the couch.
Mm-mm,
He wasn't sneaking in the room.
mm-mm. Not the first 2 months. We were
So
still taking it slow,
so my
but
niece
it
didn't see him at all.
barely no, because he
Did
was.
she know what was going on?
She was like 6 or 7.
Hmm.
So by the time I slowly introduced her to him in social settings. Like we'd go to my friend's house, and then he'd happen to be there. You get what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Or if he and I wanted to hang out, my friend would watch my daughter overnight. And it was
Okay.
as if we were still dating, but in
Mm-hmm.
a real inopportune situation. So we eased, and he met my daughter before we slept together. So it was a little different. You get what I'm saying? So that's why I said that was one complicated situation. My
Wait,
relationship.
did her father know about this?
Fuck.
asking, look, look,
Fuck
look.
him. The
My
fuck?
my sentiments exactly. All right. So, all
Fuck
right.
him. No, let me. All
I'm,
right, I'm gonna be real with you. During
mm-hmm,
that time, my
mm-hmm,
ex and I were trying to have a decent co-parenting situation.
mm-hmm,
We were trying, right?
mm-hmm,
But I didn't. It's I don't ask anything about you and your girl, so don't
mm-hmm.
ask about what goes on in me and my household. Now, mind you, if he was the type of father that was consistent, because mind you, I grew up with a stepfather and a father,
Two fathers. Two fathers.
right? Two dads, right?
Mm-hmm,
I understand navigating that family dynamic.
mm-hmm,
You get what I mean? So someone like me would be able to handle it with the maturity, knowing that I grew up with a stepfather, but I knew my stepfather my whole life, and I have my father. You get what I'm saying?
mm-hmm. I
So
feel you.
my ex was not in a position to say anything about my situation. You get what I'm saying? Now,
Okay.
had he been consistent and had he been that dude, had he been that type of father that I could rely on to pick up my child, to take my child to school, to
Mm.
be at every award ceremony, to
Doctor's
be able to
appointments.
talk to her, doctor's appointments, then I believe that if he
Mm.
was that type of father, that I would have no qualms saying, hey, I'm seeing someone, it's getting serious, and I want to introduce him to our child.
Okay.
But we didn't have that dynamic. Now, mind you, when it was me and my ex had children before we got together, I was that person that tried to get a decent relationship with the kids' mothers and stuff like that because of the maturity that the kids have nothing to do with the dynamic. And if
Agreed.
you're supposed to be serious about each other or even whatever, you get what I'm saying? Like, you have to have maturity, period.
Okay,
Right?
but what if one parent does not have the maturity or the emotional aptitude to carry out a co-parenting situation to where
I don't
that
care
situ
what their opinion is. Then they
that
shouldn't have an opinion.
at
You want to
all.
have an opinion? You want to have an opinion? Be a better parent. And that goes
Facts.
for deadbeat mothers and deadbeat fathers. You know what I'm saying? There's levels to that. There's levels to deadbeats, right?
You gotta stop
There's
talking about their
levels.
mother like that. That's crazy.
No, there's levels to deadbeats, right? There's deadbeats who have nothing to do with their kids. That's the
Mm-hmm,
worst,
mm-hmm.
right? And we should talk about that NBA player situation with the he want to
Oh,
radish.
Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, Anthony Edwards, right?
Mm-hmm.
He said he didn't want no kids. Shorty still got pregnant. Now he's like, you know
He
what?
has two.
Take your million and get the hell up out my face. He didn't want
I don't
kids with
think.
her.
Yeah, he
He
didn't want
didn't
kids
want
with her,
kids
but he
with
has
her.
two kids. Yeah.
Yeah, but he didn't want kids with her. You get what I'm saying? So it's been an online discussion all day about if it's my body, my choice, but it's my baby, blah blah blah. But anyway,
Mm.
my
I'm on the fence with that
my
one.
problem is you have the amount of opinion as your level of involvement.
Yes,
So
that's
if
all I'm
your
saying.
level of involvement is not consistent, you get what I'm
Mm.
saying? You are not coming from a place of putting your children first. Because if you were putting your children first in a situation, it should I should be comfortable telling you that someone is around our children and you bite the, no matter how the relationship ended,
Mm.
it's not about your relationship anymore. It's about the
Mm.
children. And me personally, I'm gonna want to see who's around my kids.
Preach. Like
I,
if you feel away, meet
if you feel away,
meet
me.
the other person first. Like stall them out. Hit the person out. See if
You mean to
like
tell me when my mother got with my stepfather, if you don't think my father came to size him the fuck up, then I don't know what to tell you. You get what I'm saying? That's a father.
I
That's
can tell
a
you.
mother.
You want me to tell you? You want me to tell the story? All right, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you
Tell
my
me
story. All
story.
right. When it came down to their mother's significant other, right? Now, how I found out about boy was foul,
Wild, yeah.
right? So she lied about who the dude was. Now, it's the podcast. Y'all know I don't give. I can't find a fucking a clean hallway. I keep it a bean always. The dude worked at my job. So when I finally found out who boy was, I'm a Brooklyn nigga, so I want to see
It
what
was
boy was
rough.
about. I
It
want to
was
see
a
what
rough.
boy was about. So
It was
I
rough.
saw a boy. I went up to him like, yo, my G. You know why? Now we shouldn't meet that way. If this is the person that you decided you wanted to end the family and the marriage with, cool.
No, she wanted to end the marriage and family. This was the person that she moved on with simultaneously.
Cool. Crazy. Great. Awesome. I should have a I should be able to meet this person knowing that he's gonna be around my kids.
Hmm.
So I verbally said to this girl, look, it's mad fresh. Literally like a month and a half ago, we were a family. The kids, they, like for 5 to 6 years, they only know me and you as a family. You're bringing another person in. We need to figure out how to situate that first before the kids are involved. Shorty told me, "Fuck that! You can't tell me what I'm going to do. You should trust the fact that I'm not going to put them in harm's way." Yada yada yada. She basically said, "Fuck what I had to
You
say,"
gotta eat, and you gotta eat
and
that.
and I had to eat it. There's nothing I can say about that,
You
right?
had to eat it.
She's going to do whatever the fuck she wanted to do. So that process of me having to swallow my pride and know that another man is around my kids, knowing that they are just 5 and 6. They don't know nothing that's going on. This is all fresh. Like it's weird. Daddy's not home no more. There's another dude around. That's another dude in the house. It's weird. How do we how are they supposed to 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 like get used to that situation? Now, again, how I met the dude, I approached him.
Hmm. I
She didn't
remember.
introduce me to him. I
Hmm.
don't. I know what to do because I found out about who he was.
I remember.
So our meeting is
Was not going
wrong.
to be pleasant.
It wasn't going to be good, regardless.
No,
Because this
no.
is how I'm meeting
Regardless
him.
of because of how the relationships overlapped and how one ended and bled into another, your first time meeting in that capacity was never going to be civil. You get what I'm
Now,
saying?
Grant,
And a lot of times, believe it or not, these relationships be complicated towards the end, and relationships be overlapping, and kids be stuck in the middle of that dynamic and that drama, and that happens so often. The week after me and my ex separated, he went straight to another woman.
but hey, my point in telling the story was,
What's up?
look, I, I grew up in New York. Our mindset is niggas cheat every day, B. It be like that, right? So I can't get mad about the cheating. He's a dude. If you giving up ass, he's gonna take it. It is what it is. I can't get mad at him for being a man, right? It would have never played out that way.
But that's big weird.
It is big weird, but that's just the laws of how certain shit move. That's how I was brought up. So I can't get out. I wasn't mad at him. I think I was mad at the disrespect. So when it came down to him being around my kids, it's like, yo, boy, you don't even respect me. Why do I need you around my kids right now? We haven't even sorted all of this shit out yet.
But he wasn't even supposed to respect you. She was.
Exactly. And the fact that she didn't respect me,
He
she
would
made
never.
it
He would never.
she made it legible for this dude to never respect me
Mhm.
as their father. So that was my whole thing. We didn't even sort out our shit yet for me to be comfortable for another guy to be around my kids like that,
I
especially
mean,
with it being this fresh,
no,
right?
your point is your point is highly valid.
Now you moving on and having another cool. Tom sorts a lot of shit and be clear, this happened 3 years ago. I'm cool with Boy. I appreciate Boy for being the bonus dad. Like I told Shorty earlier today, I appreciate Boy. I could teach my kids how to swim. I don't know shit about fishing. They getting two sides of the spectrum. I can't be mad.
Yeah,
I
they
don't know
win.
Spanish.
They
Boy is El
win.
Pollo Loco. I don't know Spanish. We got it. We good over here. I got
But
collard
it
greens
took
and
time. It took
yeah,
time to
it took
develop the
time.
dynamic, right? But
Yeah.
to me, there's what do you think is an appropriate time to introduce somebody to your children?
Honestly, It's not a time frame. It's more
That's
of
what
an
I'm
understand.
saying.
It's an understanding in the situation. It's never a time thing. Because again, I've been around. I've been in relationships. I've been in flames where I met their kids just
Yeah.
because of me, my personality in general. I'm good around kids. Like
And
I work
sometimes
with
you don't got
kids.
no place to go. Like when you
Ex-
have kids, it's harder to find sitters. You know what I'm saying? Like if you want to get your Sonic rings knocked out, sometimes you got to do it at home.
Yeah, there's been plenty of times I woke up and the kid was over there asking for some cereal and shit. It was crazy. It was weird being outside. I'm not gonna lie to you.
You
It
know
was a
what's
good
so
time.
crazy for me? You know what's so crazy for me? I try to get into a single phase and then boop in a relationship. Boop in a relationship. Boop in a relationship. This is the longest I've been single now for a long time. This is my
Like
longest span of time being single.
like the
But
crazy thing is, like
mhm,
hold on real quick. The crazy thing is like right now, typically you would be like, I have two little girls. Two beautiful
mhm.
little girls. You know they're both full of personality and everything, and they have an opinion. Now, you'll be like, all right, what is the time for your question was what was the time frame of them meeting my significant other? Now
They met your last girlfriend too,
they met her because I've known her since high school.
right? Both of them,
So not what both of them.
the Gemini too,
That's what I'm talking about. The Gemini.
right?
The one that I'm with now, I've known her since we were 12 years old. I grew up down the block from her. I used to beat up her boyfriends. So there's a different spectrum. And again, she was my best friend. So that trust was always there. I know that girl always cared about my kids. She always loved my kids. She used to chew me out for being outside. And even the Gemini, like, why is she meeting your kids? And when that went left, but you had this bitch around your kids. You know what I'm saying? So it's like she practiced that. She's responsible. She levels out my crazy, and I level out her crazy ass. It fits. And again, that was the
We're not
ultimate
talking about
barometer.
love connection. We talk about the
You
kid.
right. You right. You right. I gotta relax. But honestly, I had no problem with her meeting my kids. She already was talking to them. They was asking about her every time I was talking with another girl. Like before me and her got together, it was always like, so where's I'm not gonna say her name. Where's Marcia? I'm like, what? What? Why are you bringing up her name? And instantly, that will fuck up whoever I'm talking with, because then they want to know who that girl is, and I gotta be like, oh, that's my best friend. Well, I don't like that because they getting that insecurity shit. Yeah, something
No,
happened
not
to.
insecurity. You ended up with her, so it wasn't really insecurity.
Look, don't let the
If
facts
you
get into the
spent,
good story.
yeah, I hear that. Yeah, all right. Please, brother, bye. Who you fooling? We like two
I'm not.
sides of we like two sides of a mirror.
I'm just saying, bro.
Yeah,
I
me
didn't.
see. And you
We
see.
didn't think it was going to get to this point. I mean, the feelings was there, but it's like, you
So,
know.
so don't make it seem like them girls didn't have no reason to feel away. Like, let's be real here.
But if I'm with you, I'm with you. I'm like, yo, who that nigga you with? Like, this nigga best friend you got, who's that? Man, if you wanna be with that person, go ahead, be with that person. I'm not gonna sit there and say who you can be friends with. And again, I've known her since we were kids. Back when I was like 96 pounds and only like 4'8". Come on.
And what you just 5'2", and you gained double the weight that you were then. I mean, that
You going to
correction
hell.
that correction job
You
is
going
treating
to you
it's
going to
treating
hell.
you
That was
right.
wrong. That wasn't even right what you just did. I'm
Well,
not
you go
5'2", first off. I'm 5'7". You need to relax. Don't do
now.
that.
You all the way lying.
Because
Like
you 7 feet
you're a
don't mean I'm
hot.
not
You're
five
a
foot
hot. I
seven.
love my
Stop it.
height. I
All
love
right.
my height. I'm a glamazon.
Yeah. All the way up. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
Back to
But
the
anyway,
topic, Tavia.
back to the topic.
Gee,
You're short. Yeah, he's
shut the
still
fuck up.
4 feet tall.
Shut the fuck up, Dre. Shut the fuck up,
Like,
Dre.
and did, and do, and do. But a situation. See, and I was in a situation like that too. Me and my childhood friend, we got together, it moved. Brownsville dudes move at the speed of light. You get what I'm saying? And next thing I knew, our kids are hanging out with each other. A month in, but it was a different level of comfort because
Mhm.
I had known him my whole life. So
Yeah.
when you have a different, you don't feel like strangers, even though the dynamic is new. The familiarity isn't. So you kind of know this person. So there is a level of trust. You know what I'm saying?
That's all
But
I'm saying.
my thing is when with situations with step parents, they can get complicated because when you have children and your safety, their safety is at the utmost importance. So you want to have like your ex will probably be like, yo, why are you asking my kids all these questions about my new person and stuff like that? Because those are my kids. And there's a thin line between, oh, I'm asking for the sake of the kids, or I'm asking to be nosy. I've been in situations where the baby mothers was asking to be nosy. You get what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Because
mine's,
they didn't
mine's do
know
the same thing.
you feel me? And I had an issue one Christmas. My ex, my ex was like, "Oh, he didn't have any money to buy his son Christmas gifts." I thought that was the bummiest shit that I ever heard in my life.
All
You
times there.
you not being a good father to one and being a good father to another does not incite me to feel like I don't feel like I'm winning if you have all the energy for my kid and you don't have energy for your other one. Because when our shit goes sour, as it normally does, that same energy you're gonna have for that kid, you're gonna now have for mine.
I don't like that you keep doing that to yourself.
What?
Like you got to be the voice of doom with all your relationships. I get shit happens, but you got to big yourself up, Tay. You deserve happiness. You gonna get that happiness. As much as you saying that
I'm
it's not
happy
gonna happen.
now.
No, I'm saying as far as waking up to beat up the nigga that's next to you, in love and joy. Not because you hate him, but because he probably drunk
not
your
not
diet
beat him up
Pepsi.
out of not beat him up out of I'm drinking Diet Pepsi right now.
Exactly. Just because he drunk your diet Pepsi. That's all.
I
That's
don't
what
do that.
love is.
Let me tell you something. As evil as you think I can be, I've dated the absolute worst of the worst. And I think with my selection of men and the situations that I put myself in, it's okay for me to be alone.
So you had to put that back up.
You
Hold
still
up.
4 feet. Right.
Huh.
And then especially like you said, you have a daughter. You have two daughters. I have a daughter, right?
Hmm.
So I feel like, yeah, I'd never fought a man for no damn soda.
It's out of love.
Yo, believe it or
That's
not, yo,
real love.
me and my sister was talking about this yesterday. And I was thinking about my regrets in my old relationships. And I'm like, I regret more of the things I didn't say more than the things I said. So I said, do I apologize to any of them? Absolutely not. They could
Eat a
kiss
dick.
my ass
Right, eat a
a
dick.
long way.
All the
Because
Jimmy Dean references.
yeah, they
Every
could
last
kiss
one of
my
them.
ass a long way because there were times where I was kind and they were not kind. You get what I'm saying? There were times where
Hmm.
I stayed because of my kid. There
Hmm.
were times that I stayed in both situations because my kid had an attachment to this person. And I'm like, damn, I don't really fuck with them like that. But I don't want to keep bringing different people around my kid.
Nothing.
You get what I'm saying? But then, another thing, like, I grew up with the best possible parental situation. I had
Yeah.
the best of both worlds. You get what I'm saying? Like, my father was a good father. My stepfather was a good step. They're still good parents. If you could still have your parents look out for you in ways that they can look out for you, and as you get older, that's a blessing that people take for granted. And the more people kids have in their circle to support them in their village, the better off they'll be. So I'm not mad. You see, I would never be that type of like if me and my ex had a good relationship, if his girl wanted to do something nice for my daughter, why would I turn her away? That's weird.
what I'm saying, would you have ever been comfortable with my niece being around homeboy's girl like that quick, even though he did what he did? Do you trust
A
his
girl,
judgment?
a girl, no. Her, absolutely. Absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely not. Because I knew how slack she was as a mom already.
So you got so do you think it's a problem with the baby father or the baby mother getting to know the spouse?
No,
Do you think it's a problem, or do you think that that's encouraged in order for that co-parenting thing to get better?
it should be encouraged.
Because I can tell you one thing for sure. Y'all know my other son. Y'all know Shane.
Yeah.
Whatever, right? Me and his dad has always been cool from high school. Been cool, always. I helped that co-parenting situation to a degree, right? Like, because I saw it from a man's perspective, but I also was also thinking in the well-being of Shane. I'm like, yo, look, he want to be around his dad. I go to New York because I got to film mirror. It helps, like when I go to and you used to see it. I'll be like, yo, I'll be there in a minute. I gotta go drop him off with his dad real quick so he can chill with his
Yup.
dad
I
while
remember
we
that.
go. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? It helps because then there's that other side perspective. Like even in my situation now, she gives me another perspective. So I take it in. I take it into consideration. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes I be like, fuck her, and I be like, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? It works. The balance. That's what we talking about. But all in all, it should be encouraged. If that person's going to be in the child's life, it takes a village. There should be no petty shit. I shouldn't have to want to stomp you the fuck out.
Right.
I shouldn't have to
Right.
want that.
Right. Right. And my thing is, me and my ex had a shitty situation. He lied to me and his ex. But of course the two women are at odds. You get what I'm saying? Instead of being like, yo, he played both of us. We both have children by this person. You know what? Your child loves me. You get what I mean? And she used that hatred of her with me to impact the relationship I had with my stepson.
Yeah,
To this day, he don't talk to me. And he used to cry if I wasn't close to him when he was asleep. You get what I'm saying? When I was pregnant with my daughter, he would rub my stomach every night. Could not wait to meet his sister. And because she hated me that much because of my ex, because there was obviously some nonsense and whatever. What that got to do with me, bitch? What that got to do with you? We both got lied to. Well, you feel like he lied to you less because you knew him longer. We both got manipulated, dummy,
yeah.
dummy. And then now we in a situation where you have to deal with me anyway because I'm his wife. You get what I'm saying? And then, to turn around and knowing that I was good to your son and your kids and still sleep with my ex to make a point, that's wild to me.
It's
And then the
weird.
last time, that's weird. And then the
Yeah,
last time I saw my ex stepson, he wouldn't even speak to me. Why? Because you feel a way about me. I never said nothing bad about you to your son. Your son used
yeah.
to cry to stay with me. I used to pick your son up and I treated her son like my own. That's what you're supposed to do. It's an
Well, why?
unfortunate
Why
situation.
do they? Why? And that's another question I should have because this is the step. I said we call it stepdaddy, but it's a stepmother situation too. Why,
Yes.
as parents, and I say this as me as a father to my girls and you as a mother to your daughter, how can we ever feel comfortable to pass off our energy to our kids to hate another person because of our own personal situation with their parent, with the other parent? I can't do that. Like even now, I'm not saying that I hate that girl. I don't. Whatever ill will me and her have, I can never pass on energy to my kids to be like, look, fuck her boyfriend. Like I
Right.
can't do
It's
that. I
beyond
can't
you
do
now.
that.
It's beyond that now. It's not the same anymore. You get what I'm saying? Like you have a different dynamic now because regardless of what them kids did not ask to be here. And you know, I tried, and I always stress this. I tried like hell to co-parent with my ex, no matter what he had done. I was
Hey,
I tried my best. You get what I'm saying? And I let my child kind of dictate that situation because if she wasn't comfortable, I wasn't comfortable.
facts.
You get what I'm saying? If you're not consistent, it's not for me to I cannot be mom and still force you to be dad and still do the wifely thing. Like encourage you to do this. And no, you got to want it. And then once you show you want to be involved, I'm going to give you access to the level of your interest. If you're not calling your child every week or two or whatever, what we got to talk about. So then, of course, mind you, he's be like, "Oh, well, you always got something to say." If you call every 6 months, every 3 months, you expect for me to just be like, "Oh my God." 6 months is a long time for developing children. They love
Facts.
the routine. They have their routine. They're used to who they're used to being around. And then you can't get mad that I met someone, right? And out of respect to that person who stepped up and stepped in when it was time to pay the tuition, when it was time to give the talk about boys and girls, when it was time to give the talk about the birds and the bees, when it was time to play dolls, when it was time to go to award ceremonies. He never missed an award ceremony. My ex never went to one.
Mm.
So I got to give the person who is raising my child with me that respect that you obviously didn't want based on your actions, not my bitterness. Because it been stopped being about me and you. It been. And you can't tell somebody who knows these, you know, a lot of these people got daddy and mommy issues. A lot of these people, they mad at their mothers for their fathers leaving. A lot of these people really hate a lot of these people really hate men. A lot of these people really hate women. It's a lot of hatred. And you know who gets stuck in the middle of it?
The
It's a
kids.
it's a cycle of bitterness.
It's a fact. How do we
And
break that cycle though?
because more mature conversations and mature relationships.
Can I give you a
Once a
scenario?
relationship is, yeah, give me, yeah, yeah, of
All
course.
right. So if you feel like I'm gonna use you as an example. If
Yeah,
you feel like your ex was a narcissist,
my ex was
feels like
100% a narcissist.
no, it was felt like an alpha. Like he felt like he was King Tut to the world. Like nobody's shit smelled better than his shit. He like
Yeah,
everything he
that was
said
my
was
ex.
right.
That was my
Every
ex.
and he's teaching, but we gonna make my niece a nephew right now. So as a man, he's teaching his son how to disrespect women. How do you break that cycle for your son?
You create healthy narratives around your children, and you put them in some type of help. And when I say that, is we use therapy as such a bad word and stigma in the Black community, but it is
Mhm.
the reason why we are suffocated by our own traumas.
Mm. But in your new relationship,
Hmm.
how does the step father,
He's not supposed to step back.
but is his role now the role model, the show
He's
the
supposed to
healthier way?
already. He's supposed to already be doing that shit. You get what
Okay,
I'm saying? He can't just because you're. Let me tell you something. Another thing people don't realize too. We're package deals.
facts.
So you already are supposed to be that role model for my kid. You already supposed to be that person for me. You're supposed to already be that stand-up person.
Mm.
And that's genderless. That's not only a man's responsibility in a relationship, it is the woman and whoever's responsibility in that relationship too. If you don't have genuine interest, if you don't have the genuine best interest of someone that you're dating, especially with children, leave them alone.
Facts.
Because these kids don't deserve to be hurt like that.
The step parent is supposed to
already
contribute
be doing. Yeah,
to
you
a
could just
healthier
be adding.
situation, a healthier environment. Exactly. That's my
Exactly. And
that's
then you know what you also get, you know it's another thing, we have a weird power dynamic. Because now when the step parent is active and doing things, it is hard because you have been on your, it's like, say as a single mother, I was on my own, right? I never
hmm
wanted to say I was on my own because I had, when I talk about not having a spouse or a partner, but I always had a strong village, right? So I was in a situation where my ex was doing, you could not have told him he was not my daughter's father. But then I had to check myself because when it came to making decisions, it became my daughter. When on the day to day, it's our daughter. You get what I'm saying? I learned to be like, yo, what you mean she can't do this? I'm here with her every day. I said he used to be the one. Let me tell you something, but you know what? It's a shame how that situation played out. You know, that was the most hurtful one. I still have not been fully like, ready to jump into another relationship since then. But like he used to leave work. He used to go to work at 4 a.m.
hmm
Leave work all the way in the Bronx and take the train because we didn't drive
two
all the way
hours,
to, all the way to Canarsie
2 hours.
to pick Marianne up from school, and then would make sure that he came back, made dinner for me because I came home later. You get what I'm saying? Homework was done. This was done. He talked about her day. He took her to summer camp. He made sure she was in summer camp. We put her in private school. So when it was time for stuff to be made changes, like, oh, I want her to go to this school. I want her to. I realized at that point that I wasn't taking his opinion into consideration. And my parents were like, well, that's not her father. I'm like, but how could you tell this man he's not her father? I'm gonna be real. I had to check myself too. I'm like, damn, you
Why
know,
is that so hard? Like, why is that hard for single
because
parent?
you
Well,
want to be protected because of the things that we talk about.
okay.
Because you want to be protective of, relationships are complicated. You get what I'm saying? And you don't want to create a dynamic that you cannot maintain because you and this person behind the scenes may not be getting along. And then you have your child deeply tangled in to this relationship. And then God forbid something happens and you don't work out. Then what? Because I would have left that relationship a long time ago had he not been as good as he was to my daughter.
hmm
He was a hell of a father. Terrible husband. Talk about fiance.
I know you're
After a
talking about.
while,
I know you're talking. I know exactly what you're talking
you couldn't have told him that I wasn't his wife, and you couldn't have told him that Marianne wasn't his daughter. And for that, he will always have respect in my eyes, no matter what. You can't. I can say what I want to say about him, but you can't.
It's a fact. I love that respect aspect because I don't think because I played the stepfather role already. I had
Mhm.
to. I got married. She had a
And you
son
are,
before,
and you are, no,
and
and to be honest with you, the call Shane your stepson is a
that's my
disrespect.
son.
But I
It's my
get,
son.
I
Yeah.
get out of respect to his pops too. Like he got two fathers.
Well, he's told him. He's like, "Yo, that's your father. That's your dad. Call him your dad. He's your dad." And I was like, "Wow, that I know as a man how hard that is to do, but that respect was there. You get what I'm saying? So it's like to not be in that situation no more to enter another situation, and then you realize when you are dating a strong as single mom, and that's been doing it by herself for so long, and then now you're in that relationship now, and then you're potentially about to be in the stepdad role again. But then part of being in the stepdad is you have to have that environment, that village talk, right? Because it takes a village, right? Part of the village is that child's father or mother that you eventually have to either have that conversation with or have that run in with. And you don't know the temperature. Why? Because you don't really know the 100%, dynamic of that scenario or that relationship. You know your spouse's side.
Yeah, but there's always three sides to a story, and they all
Exactly
blend
my
in.
point.
They all blend in at some point.
And it's
You
not
get what I'm
necessarily the
saying?
story, it's the emotion, it's the feeling. You don't know, because again, like I said, how I approach boy, my energy was just to see his temperature. It wasn't ever really nothing like to hit him or nothing like that. I want to see.
But if you
Yeah,
had bad feelings, you know what I'm saying? If you had hard feelings for him, it would make perfect sense. You get what I'm saying? Because
yeah.
it's not no fault of his. You get what I'm saying? But it's like you knew Shorty was this, you knew Shorty was that, because you never let. That's what I was saying about my situation. You never know. We both could have been getting lied to. What makes you even less lied to than me? Why? Because you've been with them longer. That makes you more important because they wasted more of your years than mine. Like, make that make sense. And that was something I understood at a very young age. First of all, given my pedigree, I had no business being in that situation. But when you're with a master manipulator and a motherfucking narcissist, shit happens. I was young. You get what I'm saying? But to be honest with you, the reason I can't say I regret it because I got the best blessing of my life from that
Facts.
situation. So it's like, yes, was it the best situation? But God, if it wasn't this, it would have been something the fuck else.
Yeah. You get put into these scenarios to either grow
Yeah.
or learn. Or learn.
Or
It's one
both.
of the
Are
two.
you supposed
Yeah,
to?
or
You're
both.
supposed to do both.
I got out of that situation and I learned a lot. I grew a lot. I matured a lot. I thought growing up in the streets was crazy, but to grow in a depressed state and to have two kids to fight for, and I have a whole another level of maturity and value to a lot of things that I do. And that's why I'm I think logical with a lot of shit. If it don't make sense for my kids, I'm not with it. That's just how that goes. I'm not with it. And that's just me. So that's why I said, like, I can respect the other parent if your sole purpose and your sole reason for your decision making is for the best interest of the kid, not for the best interest of you because you feel some type of way. Because when it gets down to the emotions, because you're still butthurt over the fact of what happened in your relationship or the situation or the fact that you want to be with that person, but the person don't want to be with you, or the person moved on, we forget about the innocent person in
That's
the middle
right.
of
And
all
that's
of
the
it.
kids.
And if you're in that state, I don't feel like your opinion is warranted. I don't feel like your respect is needed. I don't feel like your blessing, nobody should give a fuck about at that point. Because why should I respect you if you don't respect your own, you don't respect the person that you put on this earth? You don't respect their growth.
Hmm.
You don't respect their feelings, their emotion. You don't even respect what you're doing to them.
And how you're making them feel. And the
Exactly.
thing is, people don't realize these kids watch
Everything. And they
everything
taking
you
your
do,
energy.
and they
And they
taking
taking
your
your vision.
energy. And you know what's so crazy? Because like I always say, like I give my parents a lot of grace. My mother was 20, my father was 24 when they had me. I was 24 when I had my daughter, right? Younger than you would think. You get what I'm saying? But right on time.
Mhm.
Now, my parents weren't teen parents, but they were young parents. And they're trying to navigate a world. First generation out of civil rights. Trying to navigate this world. And they have this young girl growing up. I have to give them credit. For the most part, I saw them maintain a level of civility, which allowed me to think that relationships are supposed to be this way. If you and your ex break up, you get what I'm saying? Like, you're supposed to get along for the kids. Like, duh. And then I grew up with all my cousins having good fathers. Not only good fathers, but good stepfathers for the ones that broke up. You get what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So there was no shortage of decent men in my life.
Yeah.
So to say, you get what I'm saying, or decent women in my life. Every woman in my family is a go getter. Every man in my family is a good father. We don't have deadbeats on this side. My uncles, my cousins, you know what I'm saying? Like my father, my grandfather was a hell of a man. Both of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still blessed to have one who's 92.
That's crazy. That's a
And
blessing.
I saw my grandfather work. And I'm not saying that complicated shit don't happen. There could be hurt feelings because it could be a thing of, yo, I have your kid. How could you do this to me? We married. How could you do this to me? And it becomes bitterness rooted in ego because you can't believe that this person had done what they had done. But that's the difference of maturity levels because no matter what, we decided to make this child. We had options and we decided to go through this journey. Or I did
That's a
because my body.
it's a fact.
You know, when I was pregnant with my daughter, I knew I may not have been ready to be a mother, but I was ready to be a mother. I was ready to be her mother.
Yeah.
Maybe I wasn't ready to be a wife. And that's something that I do now that I'm older in my 40s. I do see that. You know, we had a big age gap. So you would think that with our big age gap, with his big age, that he would show more maturity than a woman in her 20s.
Ain't that number the number.
Not, but narcissism is real.
Yeah, it's a fact.
And people abuse that term on social media and don't even know, people don't even know what the fuck they be talking
I
about.
know. What a narcissist really is.
Yeah. You know when I knew my ex was a narcissist? When he didn't want his son to stay with us anymore and kept blaming his 12-year-old son for everything. And I'm like, you're a real fucking piece of shit. Yeah, that changed it for me. Because I'm thinking to myself, and do you know what he used to do? He used to try to spoil my daughter to pepper favor with her. So that God forbid if she would give me hell if I put him out. Not because he was doting, but for a manipulation tactic. They do stuff like that. It's weird. It is weird. I've seen it. It's weird and it happens. That's a narcissist because you're not thinking about what's best for the unit. You think about what's best for yourself. But I don't feel like I feel like there's a special place in hell for inconsistent parents because you're giving false hope. A
That
deadbeat
deep.
is a deadbeat.
Yeah.
But when you in and out, you are teaching your child that they are not good enough to receive all of the love that you can give them.
Part
A
time.
phone call, a phone call is nothing. A phone call is nothing. A
Nah, my
text
favorite quote is effort
is
don't cost a
nothing.
thing.
Effort don't time. You know what's so crazy? And I always say this. I don't I had everything I wanted as a kid. Didn't ask for nothing. Sneakers. You know, that's when Jordans was coming out with two different three or four. Every Jordan had two or three different editions. I
Mm-hmm.
got them on the first day of release. Tommy Hilfiger came out with a jacket. I had it. Vacations, I did that. Private school, I went to that. Never had to worry about where a meal was coming from. Always ate what I wanted.
Crab legs and shit. I know.
But you know what I remember mostly about
What?
my childhood? Seeing my father and my stepfather play basketball with me.
My kids want to spend time with me.
Yeah, it's time.
Yeah,
Hi, baby bub. Hi, baby. She's getting so big.
I know. She
You
said
know,
hi.
hi, honey bunny.
I'll be there in a minute.
It's. I remember one day, it's clear as day. I told my dad and my stepdad I wanted to learn how to play basketball, and they both showed up to teach me the fundamentals. That memory is what's in my head.
Stability is everything for these kids. That should be the goal. It should never be about
The obstacle.
bitterness.
It should never be the obstacle. It should always be the
That's what I'm
goal.
saying.
These kids, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna be real with you too. These kids gonna be what they're gonna be, no matter if you're the best parent or the worst. You're gonna be what you're gonna
That's a
be.
fact. That's a
That's a
fact.
fact. But I'd rather be on the right side of history with my kid.
That's a
I,
fact too.
I'd rather be the type of parent or person that a little me will run to.
I want to leave this where I want to leave this earth knowing that my kids knew that they were loved and
Mm-hmm.
that I put them first with a lot of stuff and that I sacrificed a lot for their happiness because all in all, they knew my happiness is all that really mattered to daddy.
That's
As long as
right.
I can accomplish that, that's it for me. That's a wrap for me. That's all I need.
That's right.
And it never really mattered about what their mother was doing or what like what's going on with
It
her. Like I
can't
wish
be.
her the best. I
And you
wish her the
want your
best.
and why wouldn't you want your child's parent to be healthy?
Exactly.
The thing is, if my child's father was happy and doing the right thing by his children, I would have nothing. When he was trying to be a decent father, I gave him anything but ass.
Not the ass.
Never, ever. I told them, I said, I would rather God would come to me and say, Tavia, either you kiss him one time or you'll never meet another man again. I'd rather never meet another man again. I told him straight to. You get what I'm saying? But like when we were getting along, we would talk on the phone and laugh and gaff and go hang out. That was the best. To me, that was the best. That was the best time. The best time. But then when he started with the, I want my family back and all that,
They always want the family back.
it was with the family back.
I ain't gonna hold you. When I saw Puerto Rico, I was like, you can have that. It's a wrap. I
No,
don't
you
want
can
nothing.
have that.
You can have that. I'm not with none of the Tejada games. You can keep that, Slime. I don't want that. I'm good. I'm good. I like pork shoulder and rice and peas, but we good on that. I'm good. You can have it, homie. I'm good. I respect boy though. I give him that because he's like he treats my daughters right. I can respect that. But
Yeah. I mean,
shout out to the stepdaddies and the stepmoms.
shout out to the step parents because it is a thankless job.
100%. And there's so much more conversation topics we can go into deep into as far as step parents because there's a lot. There's the discipline conversation that you can have. There's the know your place in that in that setting as far as the co-parenting topic you can go to. There's so many different levels of a step parenting conversation we can tackle. We ain't got that much
I'm
time.
so close to both of my fathers. I can't decide who would walk me down the aisle if I got married. So I would
Why
have to
why not
choose.
both of them?
I would have to choose my nephew.
I would have told you should have told
No,
both of them.
no, I would choose my grandfather
I mean,
because I don't know how
yeah,
long I have left.
you're right. I can respect that.
Yeah,
So you
you know,
taking us out? We out?
we out, man. Thank you so much, Matt. I feel like this was a really productive and really positive. I think one of the best conversations we've had. I think this is the one of the most mature conversations we had. We was getting ready to get on here and flip out about why I think Stephen A is a bitch and why we was that's what we were going. But I enjoyed this flow better. So it's your for Henny Bobby Brown, Mr. 4'10",
5'7".
the Thunder Down Under. It's your girl, the queen, and we out, baby.